How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at some Steam Summer Sale games that you should pick up on your Steam Deck. And if you haven't got your Steam Deck, just pick them up. Make sure they're in your library, ready to go when you get the Steam Deck. They're extremely cheap and they're just must-have games on the PC. So yeah, get your Steam Decks ready, get yourself on Steam, and let's spend some cash today. So I'm going to stick to a price limit on here, and because I'm from the UK, it'll be in pounds. I'm sure the conversions are going to be pretty simple for you to do, you know, just a simple Google search, or even I might spend the time editing in some different prices. Maybe I'll do US dollars and pounds as well, because I know there's a lot of Americans watching these videos too. I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into some games. So my number one pick is Bioshock. Absolutely phenomenal game. One of the best like action games, one of the best like horror games, with the best atmospheres, power system, first person shooting. It's linear but kind of open at the same time. The world you're exploring, Rapture, is so cool. Underwater city, the creatures you're fighting are very creepy and weird, and it has some really cool characters in it, and it's got that 1950s aesthetic to it. So 100% recommend Bioshock. It's going for £2.79 at the moment on sale. £2.79 is an absolute steal for Bioshock. That is literally so cheap. And if you're going for Bioshock, you might as well grab the collection too. So you're going to get the second game and Infinite as a bundle, and that'll set you back. So the whole collection will set you back $7.99, probably equates to around $9.99 in dollars, or maybe a little more. But for the collection, that is an absolutely ridiculous price. You've got the third game, which is set on, like, they set the first two games in Rapture, which is like the underwater city, and the third game is set in the clouds on like a sky city. And the traversal mechanics in that are awesome. You have like this sky hook that you can swing around on and zoom through the streets. You're fighting completely random different people compared to the first game. They have their own characters, their own lore up there. It's such a cool city to explore. And yeah, the whole story when it comes to the end is mind-blowing. It's completely, it'll blow your mind. If you haven't played it before, yeah, you're in for a real treat. Bioshock Infinite, amazing game. First game still takes it for me on nostalgia purposes. Second game's good. You get to play as a big daddy, which is really cool to see the other side of it. But yeah, amazing collection. For £7.99, it's an insane deal. So next game, number 3, is the Fallout series. I don't really need to say much about this one. You've got Fallout 4, which is going for £6.39. I'd pick up the Game of the Year version because it just has so much more DLC. Although Fallout 4's DLC isn't massively amazing, it does have some pretty good bangers in there, like Far Harbor, which is an awesome little addition to the game where you basically go off in a boat to like this really weird, like Lovecraftian-esque village island with like loads of crab creatures and stuff like that. If you've seen Love, Death and Robots recently, kind of inspired me to pick that one back up and go visit Far Harbor. But yeah, as far as the DLC goes, that's probably the best for Fallout 4. But then if you pick up Fallout 3 in New Vegas, definitely get the better versions of them, so the limited editions, or just the versions with all the DLC, because Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas have some banging DLC. They have some really good DLC, a lot better than Fallout 4's DLC. But yeah, Fallout 4 sadly focuses more on action than it does on our RPG, whereas Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas have a nice balance of action and RPG. I know the action and shooting isn't as good in Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, but it's still very satisfying, especially when you're blowing limbs off and stuff, and you have the VAT system where you can target specific limbs. Yeah, extremely fun games with extremely well-designed worlds and storylines. And Fallout New Vegas is probably my favourite. There's just a lot of choice in there, and you can really play who you want to play as. Fallout 4, a little bit limited. You get given a character, and you're basically looking for your son the whole game. So it's like, it's more story driven, but it isn't as creative, and you don't get to be who you want to be because you're always limited to this one path within the storyline. Whereas Fallout New Vegas is you're literally a courier, and you're trying to find something, so it's a lot more open. Fallout 3 is still an amazing game. That was the first one I ever played, so it still holds holds a good place in my heart. And to be fair, exploring Fallout 3's world is extremely fun too, especially some of the choices you can make in there in regards to karma, so you can play good and evil as well, which is a really cool system. But yeah, Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4, definitely recommend picking them up. Fallout 4 is going to set you back £6.39. So Fallout 3's Game of the Year edition is going to set you back around £5, and Fallout New Vegas's Game of the Year edition will set you back about the same as well. Or if you're not bothered about the DLC, you can grab them for like £2.30. It's insane. Summer sales, you definitely make the most of them. The thing is, you'll get to a point where you're just buying games and you'll never have time to play them, and it's just the sad fact of the summer sales. That's where gaming gets you, is like amazing prices on all these games. You spend about £50 to £100 on them, and then they're in your backlog. I've still got games I've bought in summer sale from like 2013 in my backlog that I haven't played yet. And I'm going to go into an indie game now. So Celeste, I've shown that on the channel before. Absolutely phenomenal indie game. It covers some deep storylines, some deep themes, dark themes, but in like a very creative and vibrant way. It's 2D, and it's kind of like a platformer, but with some really difficult mechanics to it. You play as a girl called Celeste, and she's trying to climb up a mountain, and the mountain represents various stages within her mental state, which is really awesome. She meets a load of different characters too, some really cool characters. She goes through like a hotel, which is like haunted. It's just a really cute, but with, like I say, a deeper meaning to it. Once you get to the end, you'll understand. I don't want to give anything away. But yeah, the mechanics are very tight, and it's very satisfying when you complete a level. Very addicting. I'll get to an example of like one of the powers that she has. So when you jump, she has like a dash ability, and you'll be relying on like dashing on walls and collecting strawberries. And then there's such things called B-sides, which are like extremely hard versions of the level. It's an amazing game. If you like platformers and like 2D, it runs perfectly on the Steam Deck. I've shown it off before. As you can see, you get like 5 hours of battery life, so it's a really good game to play on the Steam Deck. Pick that one up for £3.74 as well. This Celeste was actually up for Game of the Year edition. It was up for Game of the Year against God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. Probably wasn't going to beat them two big behemoths, but I mean, the fact it was actually considered as a Game of the Year should tell you everything you need to know about it. It's a phenomenal indie game. Definitely check it out. So on the other side of the spectrum, I've shown this game off before, but it's Yakuza 0. So this would be a good starting point for any of you guys who are thinking of getting into Yakuza. I haven't played them all myself, but Yakuza 0 is like the prequel to the first game. So if you're going to start anywhere, you might as well start from the very beginning. It's a very fun fighting game. I've shown it off on the channel before, but you play as a guy. Something happens and you're kicked out of this the Yakuza gang you're in. There's obviously multiple different versions of the Yakuza in different areas of Japan. But yeah, it's a heavy fighting game, but with very wacky storylines. It has very weird side quests, funny and awesome mini games to play as well. You can do karaoke and you can go bowling. It's just a very wacky game that you'd come to expect from a Japanese kind of atmosphere that it's set in. And yeah, like I say, heavy on the action and the fighting. The combat is very satisfying. You've got like finishers that you can perform on people. Yakuza 0 has three different fighting styles, so you can swap between them, which makes the fighting a lot more varied and different. It's not just button mashing all the time. Yeah, so if that sounds like fun and you've seen it on the channel before and you think Yakuza 0, that looks really cool, best place to start, because it's like prequel. You don't have to know anything beforehand, and if you like it, you can grab the collection afterwards, which is also on sale for a pretty good price too. I think you can grab all 7 of the games now for like £20, which is, yeah, ridiculous, but that's going to take you a lot of hours to finish, so maybe take it one game at a time. Yakuza 0 is going to set you back £3.74, so I'm trying to keep all these games underneath, I think all these games except Disco Elysium are underneath, yeah, £5 at the minute, which is insane for a deal. So, and they're going to take you a long time to finish them too. And I kind of want to do this video again, so if you want to see any more recommendations from me, let me know. But The last game I'm going to talk about is Tomb Raider. I could not believe how cheap this was. This is basically the Uncharted for PC gamers, except Uncharted 4 is coming out on PC soon, but we don't have a release date yet, so we don't really know when that's coming out. But yeah, Tomb Raider, the first game, £2. It's £2. Even if you didn't like it, is £2 really that much money to spend on a game? You know, it's going to be a sick action adventure game for you to play. If you're a fan of Tomb Raider, or if you don't even know that much about Tomb Raider, it's kind of like a reboot of the franchise. It's awesome. You're stranded on an island, and you're trying to get out. You're trying to find your friends who are on the island too. But it's, like I say, a heavy Uncharted theme. So you're climbing up walls, you're scaling mountains, a lot of set pieces. You've got a bow and arrow, you've got guns, a lot of action. You play as Lara Croft, who is a badass, of course. And if you like that, definitely look at getting Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the second game, which is only $3.99. Kind of like ups the ante. Even more action set pieces, more exciting different areas of different islands to explore. Looks amazing on the Steam Deck and plays amazing. They're very nice to look at games too, so if you wanted to show off any games on your Steam Deck, these would kind of be the games you'd show off. And yeah, if you really did like it, consider getting the third one, which is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I haven't massively played that much because I don't know if I got burnt out on them after playing them over and over again. But yeah, it's still a fun game, but it just doesn't really add anything that the first two didn't already have. So it's like, if you really enjoy Tomb Raider, then you're going to enjoy it. But if you kind of getting sick of playing Tomb Raider, then maybe just play the first two, which is what I did. And yeah, apart from that, that's all the recommendations I have for today, guys. But if you want to see any more or want to hear any more recommendations from me, definitely give me a shout in the comments. I know I haven't done many videos recently. I did one last Monday. But yeah, like I say, I keep telling you guys that I'm busy at the moment. But yeah, what can you do? I'll try and do videos as much as I possibly can. But yeah, I just wanted to get this video out because it's the Steam Summer Sales and I want you guys to make some decent choices. And yeah, I think you're going to go far with these games and you're going to enjoy playing them. And if I was good to give you like a secondary recommendation, Devil May Cry 5 is only £7. I haven't played it much. I think I've played around 2 hours of it. But from what I've played from 2 hours, it is one of the maddest, badass hack and slash games I've played since Bayonetta 2. And it's £7. So if you're a fan of hack and slashes, consider picking up Devil May Cry 5. Haven't got much to say about it because I've only played 2 hours of it myself, but if that's something you've been looking at buying, it's like £7. So definitely consider it. Anyway guys, I'll see you guys soon.